Welcome to the Billy Jack Williams Show. I'm your host Billy Jack Williams. Tonight we'd like to welcome a very special guest, Gonzo journalist Hunter S. Thompson, who has come back from the dead to share his thoughts with us on what really happened on 9/11. Hunter, thanks so much for being here.
Where's the whiskey? I was specifically told there would be whiskey and peyote. Where's the whiskey and peyote, you pixelated bastard?
Why are you speaking in an English accent, Hunter?
Because I'm a goddamned virtual ghost, you fool. Don't you cheap jacklegs even have any animated beer in this joint? My god, man, I came all the way back from the dead. You could at least have bought a six-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Hunter, what were you doing the morning of 9/11?
It was just after dawn in Woody Creek, when the first plane hit the World Trade Center in New York City that Tuesday morning. I was writing about sports. But not for long. Football suddenly seemed irrelevant compared to the scenes of destruction and utter devastation I was witnessing in real time on the television set in my kitchen. And it was not even bombs that caused this massive damage. No nuclear missiles were launched from any foreign soil, no enemy bombers. No, it was for ordinary commercial jetliners.
It was such a horrible tragedy.
It was the worst disaster in the history of the United States, including Pearl Harbor, the San Francisco earthquake, and probably the Battle of Antietam in 1862. And speaking of cruel disaster, where's that damn bottle Wild Turkey, you cheap bastard? How about a chunk of hashish or perhaps a sheet of blotter acid?
We're working on that, Doc. Meanwhile, what was going through your mind while you were watching all this go down on TV from your armed compound in Colorado?
The towers were utterly gone. Reduced to bloody rubble, along with all hopes for peace in our time, in the United States or any other country. Make no mistake about it, we are at war now, with somebody, and we will stay at war with that mysterious enemy for the rest of our lives. Mark my words. The rest of our bloody lives, no matter who's at the wheel, the Republicans or the Democrats. It will be a religious war, a sort of Christian jihad, fueled by religious hatred and led by merciless fanatics on both sides. It will be guerrilla warfare on a global scale, with no front lines and no identifiable enemy.
Wow, do you think anything could have prevented this from happening?
Nothing. Not even Bush's $350 billion Star Wars defense system could have prevented that attack, and it cost next to nothing to pull off. Fewer than 20 unarmed suicide soldiers from some apparently primitive country somewhere on the other side of the world took out the World Trade Center and half the Pentagon with 3 quick cheap strikes on one day. The efficiency of it was terrifying.
What do you think will happen now?
We are going to punish somebody for this attack, but just who or what will be blown to smithereens for it is hard to say. Maybe Afghanistan, maybe Pakistan or Iraq, or possibly all three. Who knows? This is going to be a very expensive war, and victory is not guaranteed for anyone. And certainly not for anyone as baffled as George W. Bush. He will declare a national security emergency and clamp down hard on everybody, no matter where they live or why. Say goodbye to civil rights and the U.S. Constitution. Hell, I would not be surprised if the bastards even did away with habeas corpus too. If that happens, the rest doesn't really matter. We'll already be down the shit pipe at that point.
Why do you think more information hasn't come out from credible news sources about what really happened?
The lid is on, you stupid bastard. The media has had the big clampdown put on it. Even though our current media is corrupt and inept enough already.
But who is the enemy? Who should we be fighting?
That remains to be seen. But make no mistake. There are plenty of enemies to go around. Both foreign and domestic. America has some very bad karma to atone for. God help us all when the check comes due. Now break out the wild turkey, you simpering bastard, or I swear I'll tear off your pitiful nutsack with a rusty fork and feed it to my Doberman.
Thanks. This has been another episode of the Billy Jack Williams Show. We'll see you again next week, when our guests will be Ted Nugent and the ghost of blues legend John Lee Hooker. Good night, America, and stay safe.
Say goodbye to your balls, you twisted ass weasel.